Hello everyone, it's Rob from Property Investments UK, and in today's video I want to show you some tools that you can use to really help and enrich your property search experience of finding potential properties to consider for your portfolio. Now the tool that we're going to be focusing on today is called Advanced Property Insights, and you can download it here from the Google Chrome store. So you do need to use the Google Chrome browser in order to do this. And if you go to the Chrome store and type in the name of the tool, which is Advanced Property Insights, you can see here it comes up at the top, and then you can kind of download it directly from this section here. Now, once you've downloaded it, what this tool does is it adds additional location-based data to some of the main search portals, so Rightmove, Zoopla on the market currently, I believe. And then when you do your search, it'll bring in that information on the property search. So I'm just going to show you straight away how that starts to look. Now you can choose any area for this. We're going to choose Chester for this example, and it's primarily location-based data regarding sales or the selling of properties, and looking at information like yield, house price growth and demand. I'm just going to change these price dynamics slightly just to make the property a little bit more relevant to a standard investor type search in terms of price range. And you can choose any property that's kind of listed here on these pages. And once you've chosen kind of the property that you're interested in, it's going to be on the next page where you see the advanced property data. So let's say this one here, the Crescent, which is a 3-bedroom semi-detached house in this area of Newton in Chester. So we click on the property. What that will do then is it will start to load as normal on your browser the page, and then it brings in this additional data set here for that area. Now, if it's the first time you've searched for this location, or it's the first time any of the users of this extension have searched for this location, the location-based data won't yet have been pulled in. So it'll take a little bit of time for that to load. It could be anything up to sort of maybe even 10 seconds or so. So if you're patient and wait for it to load, once it's loaded, it'll pull in the address, or sorry, the postcode for that area. And then you've got these different data sets. I just want to give you a little bit more of an insight in terms of what these data sets are. So first of all, you have average yield. Then you have house price growth, and then you have something kind of relevant to demand, which is what these two sections are. Now I'm also going to search using Zoopla, a secondary search. So I'm just going to go back to the homepage of Zoopla to show you how it works on another property, and of course another search portal as well, so you can kind of see that same process, let's say, in place. So we're going to click on this property here. And just wait for it to load the property listing. Now if we go back to this initial property, a couple of things that are worth noting. First of all, where this information is collected from. So there's a whole range of different data sets out there on the market that will look at things like sold prices, we'll look at what properties are on the market to rent, and then therefore what sort of yield potentially is applicable to that property type in that postcode using maybe a marketing price, and then also the rental values for that area. What this tool does is it pulls in data from a third party called propertydata.co.uk currently, and it uses these main three areas here, yields, growth and demand, and they have an API with this. Now you don't have to worry about technically in terms of how it pulls in, but I just want to show you the information here because it's relevant to the context of where that information comes from. So first of all, demand. Now it uses the full postcode here for the property, or a UK postcode. Growth uses UK postcode. So in this instance, that would be these two data sets, house price growth and then demand. And then finally, we're looking at yields, which uses UK postcode, also the number of bedrooms and also the property type. Now this data will change, and it's certainly applicable to kind of consider that this data is hyper relevant to as of right now. So for example, this postcode is the starting point, and it uses then a data range typically of about 20 different data points. And what that means is 20 different references of other properties in that location. So if we focus here on the average rental yield at the moment, it will use this postcode as a central point. It will use maybe this price range here as a value. And then it will scroll out from that radius 20 different data sets. So if you've got lots of rental properties in a given area close by, that's fantastic. It's really relevant. If it has to go out a little bit further, so maybe it's quarter of a mile or even half a mile because there's not many rentals in that location, then it's going to be a little bit of a wider snapshot in terms of how relevant or not, or how close to a specific value that this is going to be. So as of right now, 4.4% postcode average rental yield for this area is based on this postcode, number of bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, and a semi-detached property. So it's really relevant to this particular location and this particular property type, not this specific property, but this specific property type. So 3 bedrooms, semi-detached house, around this sort of price range. Local comparisons for rental is therefore looking at around a 4.4% gross rental yield for that area. Now, a few points to note is that, as I mentioned, if you have lots of local properties, it's going to be much more specific, a lot closer, that data set, and much more relevant. If you don't have many examples, maybe it's a really rural area that you're looking at, or just maybe the market is quite quiet at the moment, there's not many rentals on the market, it's going to be difficult for that information to be pulled in and to be really relevant and accurate. So don't just rely on this data, use it as a maybe comparison tool. So if you're looking and considering maybe location A compared to location B, this can give you a really good starting point. And also the data is as of the moment. So it's looking at properties to rent in that area today. So this will change based on information historically. It's not going to be relevant to that. And also it will change based on information in the future. It's not going to be able to take into account what's going to happen in 2 weeks' time, 4 months' time, 6 months' time. So it's pretty much a snapshot in time of what the rental yields could be for this property type in this area. So it's well worth looking and sort of coming back regularly and using kind of your search regularly to try and understand what prices might be at any given point, what rental yields might be at any given point in that location. Next bit of data set is here is this house price growth. So for this information, we're looking at 16.9%, and this is 3 bedrooms semi-detached in this postcode CH2 2BP. Whereas for the other property, which is a 2-bedroom of flat, similar starting point district CH2, but different end postcode, you've still got the similar house price growth. Now, one thing to consider here is it's not taken into account the dynamics or the specifics again of this property. It's not saying that this property has gone up 16.9% in the last 5 years. It's saying that this house prices, for this postcode have gone up on average at this price. And that takes into account all ranges of property types, all ranges number of bedrooms. So it's very much an average. Now, that's helpful when you're considering as a starting point what locations have maybe performed like in the last couple of years. So if you're brand new to your location selection and you don't really have an idea, maybe you're agnostic on location, this is a great starting point to give you a context as to whether maybe location A or location B has had higher or more significant house price growth in a given year. But don't use this as a direct relevance to this particular property. As I mentioned, it's a location-based data set. Next up is average days to sell. So in this particular postcode, we can see here the stock turnover is very high and really relevant for this property type. And it sells really fast. So 54 days, if you're first time looking at this, you might think that that's high or low, depending on your thoughts of how quick maybe a property might sell, but it is actually quite fast for a property to sell within that time frame when it first comes to market in any given area. 56% of stock turnover per month. So how many properties are coming on the market at the moment, how quickly do they sell is here, but then also how many sell is going to be this percentage here. And then just a very quick kind of visual image of how fast or maybe buoyant, the market is. So is it a seller's market or is it a buyer's market? And because we're seeing high demand in this area based upon a high volume of properties selling, then it could be seen as a seller's market and therefore prices may increase in that area. Now, none of these things are a given. This is looking at data and a snapshot of time for that postcode. It's not specific to this exact property, and it's not specific or predictive, of future success, let's say. So it's well worth taking into account other data sets. It's well worth taking into account other property types and considering the range. But hopefully it gives you a starting point. It gives you some comparison data and easily seen within the snapshot of when you're looking at a particular property on a particular property search portal that you can see here the relevance of any kind of given property at any given time. Hope that helps. And if you've got any questions, as always, don't hesitate to ask. All the best. Bye.